y'all are gonna lose your minds when you see the new Ariel.
Yes.
Because you know, and I don't want to upset any mermaids who are watching the show. You know, because I know there are many communities of mermaids of various colors. And when I say of various colors, I'm not playing. There are violet mermaids, there are pink mermaids, there are black mermaids, there are Latina mermaids, there are mermaids of every ilk. And you know why there can be? Because it's the world that we would like to see better. We would like to see as many people represented in fantasy as exists. So all of y'all who have problems because there are black hobbits, get a job. Get a job. Go find yourself because you are focused on the wrong stuff.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about Disney's woke Little Mermaid. A film that they are releasing in which they race swapped the Little Mermaid, Ariel, okay? Because, you know, when we all grew up and we watched the Little Mermaid, Ariel was white, okay? But Disney decided that, hey, you know what, we're going to make Ariel black now because that's the thing to do, right? Just swap out all the white characters and make them black because Whoopi Goldberg says that that's the world that they want to see, right? They want to see a world where all the white characters now become so-called characters of color, LGBTQ, extremely diverse. Diversity means less white, okay? That's what it means, right? I have so many problems with this, right? I'm gonna be flat out, right? I'm gonna be flat out and say I have a problem with race swapping characters, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why, and everything I feel is wrong with what Disney is trying to do, specifically with the idea or the concept of a black mermaid. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can check out my merch, my donkey pox shirts, the disease that's affecting America, or my hashtag no days off / hard work patriotic t-shirts, or my MAGA hub shirts. There are plenty of merch for you to check out at my website, gforemanbcp.com. Get 20% off using discount code gforemanbcp. So without further ado, let's get into this. As this trailer right here, right, has a epic ratio, right? It got ratio, unsurprisingly, 296,000 dislikes to 91,000 likes with a little bit over 2 million views. Now, I believe that this like to dislike ratio is coming from the fact that, again, the Little Mermaid here has been race swap, which is a strong indication that this movie is probably gonna be woke, okay? Who knows? They may have the Little Mermaid twerking under seas, or some black Little Mermaids kissing, right? While also at the same time not focused on telling a good story, which is where a majority of the criticism comes from when it comes to some of these woke series, like, you know, Rings of Power and, you know, She-Hulk, you know, where they get a lot of their criticisms from. It's not necessarily because they are woke, but they are woke at the expense of good storytelling and writing. But let's go ahead and watch this trailer here, and let's see what we can take away from it. I ain't gonna lie. that song does actually give me goosebumps, right? It does actually give me chills. Okay, just like the national anthem gives me chills. I don't know. It's just something about these, some of these songs, right, that you've heard growing up, okay, and the way it's sung that just make you feel a certain type of way. But with that being said, I mean, look, here's the thing. That trailer in and of itself doesn't really give us much context in regards to what's going to be in the movie. But I think, again, the fan backlash here is coming from the fact that we already know, based off what Disney has done in the past, that, there are going to be a lot of woke elements in this movie. And that, along with the fact that the main character has been race swapped, is definitely going to spark backlash. And when this backlash comes, don't be surprised what the mainstream liberal media does, right? Their backlash against the backlash is going to be even greater. They're going to be calling everybody racist, right? In fact, they were already calling people racist, right? Or saying that the actor, Halle Bailey, right, was already dealing with racism after it came out that she would be the Little Mermaid, right? So she's already dealing with racism, right? According to the mainstream liberal media, right? Already dealing with racism. Again, they're lining it up, guys. They're lining up the narrative. No. It can't be because people generally just have a problem with race swapping, right? And wokeness at the expense of the story. It can't be that. The fans must be racist. Everybody must be racist, okay? Everybody must be racist. Now, here's my problem with Disney race swapping The Little Mermaid, right? Outside the fact that I just don't like race swapping in general, even as a black person, and I'll explain why. I've explained this before, but I'll explain it again. But my main issue with this is that it's completely unnecessary. You are doing this solely for the purpose of doing it for virtue signaling rather than actually trying to tell an original story about a black mermaid, which there are plenty of. Because if you just look up black mermaid stories, they're actually stories written by African authors or black authors that tell original stories about black mermaids, right? Easy stuff to find based off African mythology. Now, again, this would have been a perfect time for Disney or whoever really to make an original mermaid story where they say, look, we're not going to taint the original mermaid story that we have, the Disney mermaid story. We're going to take a mermaid story that was written by an African author that's based off African mythology, and we're going to make an original mermaid story out of that, right? In which there is no race swapping required. You don't have to do that. That was the perfect opportunity for them to do that. But instead, no. They took something that we all know and love, and they put wokeness in it, right? And then they're going to accuse everybody that it's like we don't like this of being racist. When you could have just took a mermaid story written by an African author, left the Disney story alone, and just made a film out of that. And that's something I think that people would have found to be interesting, because instead of focusing on wokeness, you could have focused on the actual story, right? Telling a good story that people haven't heard of, right? Or haven't read about a black mermaid. Easy stuff. People don't have problems with original stories that feature original black characters. People don't care about that. White people, they watch that too, right? If not, there's no way that characters like Black Panther or Blade would be successful. The success of Black Panther in and of itself tells you that there is a market, right? There's a mass market for original black characters. You don't need to race swap, right? If the story in and of itself takes place in Africa, okay, it has majority African people, all those people are black, as long as it's a good story, white people will watch it, right? There's a audience for it, as long as it's a good story. But Disney feels like, no. In order to expose our audience, right, to black characters, we gotta race swap. We gotta take an original white one, all right, and make it black, make them black, okay? Because we don't really want to tell an original story, right, with black characters. And it's like, no, that's not necessary. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. But again, that brings me to my next point. I wouldn't want to see all of Wakanda and Black Panther swapped out to be white in the name of diversity. Because the story in and of itself takes place in Africa. All the people are African. It wouldn't make sense for me to make the people white for diversity and inclusion. But according to Whoopi, that's what we should do by her own argument. right? Because according to her, in these fantasy worlds, they should have diversity, the diversity that we want to see. But see, why does she never actually say that when it comes to mostly black films? Why does she never say, well, we should, have more white characters? Well, because their version of diversity and inclusion means less white. It doesn't actually mean what diversity is supposed to mean, which is, hey, we need to include everybody. Which that in and of itself, in my opinion, again, is wrong. You don't have to include everybody. If the story has all white characters, then you need to stick to all white characters, right? If the story has all black characters, then you need to stick to all black characters. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Again, this is why the diversity stuff is nonsense, because it's never applied the other way. There will be outrage. There will be riots. I guarantee you, there will actually be real riots if they decided that, you know what, we got to swap out some of these Black Panther characters. We need to make them white because of diversity and inclusion. It's not diverse enough, right? Everybody got to be represented in the movie. Doesn't matter where the movie takes place. Doesn't matter what the race of the original characters are, the culture. Doesn't matter. We have to make them all diverse and inclusive. I guarantee you the woke revolutionaries wouldn't be able to stand it. They will lose their minds. But if white people get upset about taking white original characters and making them black or Hispanic or Asian or whatever, oh, you're racist, right? You don't have a right to be upset about that because you're against diversity and inclusion. Again, it really blows my mind because ultimately, I wouldn't want to see it happen to original black characters, so I don't want to see it happen to original white characters. That's why I'm against race swapping, right? That's why I'm against it. So yeah, I mean, I think The Little Mermaid does deserve the backlash, even though the movie hasn't come out yet. It does deserve the backlash because this is not stuff that we should be rewarding. Stick to the original story, stick to the original characters, and if you want to make a movie about black people, then pick an original black story. It's really that simple, right? It's not hard, man. It's really not. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.